Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam's out tonight, but Chike hold it down with the movie reviews.
Sir, first of all, I need to do 2 shout outs. First shout out is to my homie Barnacle Bill. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Love you, bro. I appreciate you. Second shout out is to one of the most influential women in the entertainment business. She's been somewhat of a mentor to me. I say somewhat because I haven't officially become a mentee from her. I'm just a huge fan and an admirer. Miss Deanna Williams, happy birthday. Thank you so much for what you've done for me, to me, for me, on my behalf. I just appreciate you. And I think that you're a gem and you're a diamond. I appreciate you. Love you. Okay. Movie reviews. So I watched this movie called The Protege. It stars Maggie Q and Samuel Jackson and Michael Keaton.
Okay.
And it's pretty much the storyline of guy finds a child, makes child an assassin. The assassin works for him. He was double crossed. The assassin avenges him. You know, we know the storyline.
Right.
And we've seen quite a few movies like that. This wasn't one of the better ones for me. And this was a theater release. So again, especially now, if you want me to come out of my house to go to another facility, you mean I have to get dressed and gear up and go somewhere else? You better make it good. This was just like, you should have put it on Netflix. It should have been a Netflix movie or a Hulu movie or any kind of streaming movie that I could see at home. It was just, it wasn't worth it to me. It didn't have the punch. It was good, just didn't have the punch.
Right.
And the second film I saw was a Netflix movie, and it's called Night Teeth. I thought that it was a pretty original story. There's a family that owns a chauffeur service, and one of the members of the family is a vampire hunter, a group of...
I saw that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his brother stands in for him to do some of the chauffeuring, and it's a case of mistaken identity, and the vampires are trying to get him. It was a pretty decent story. It's good for at home and chilling and just want to watch a movie. Yeah. It was pretty good. Definitely check that out. Again, it's on Netflix, so if you're getting bored on a weekend,
I fell asleep on it, but it wasn't because it wasn't good. It's because I was tired.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch Succession last night. I did watch American Rust. It's picking up and it's getting really, really, really good. I just caught up on Queen Sugar, which is really, 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 really good. And
2 more episodes left, I believe, until it's over.
Yeah, over. Like
Over.
done.
Last season. Yeah.
They're taking all the great shows off of television. Okay, speaking of great shows, let's talk about Insecure.
Loves it.
You're finally caught up.
I finally got my HBO together, and I watched the first 2 episodes last week, and I watched episode 3 this morning. Really good. What did you think about it? Because they followed the co-parenting of Condola and what's his name? I can't think of his name.
Condola and Lawrence.
And Lawrence, yeah. And you could kind of see both perspectives. You know what I mean? And you can see how, but I can see from him, he's trying to be a present father, even though they're not together. And, he has a crazy work schedule. He's trying to be present, but I think she feels like this is her world. She is taking care of this child. And for him to come in and out, it's kind of difficult for her when he's trying to be there and they just don't agree when it comes to parenting. But I like the fact that they're willing to, the last scene was they're saying this isn't working. What do we do? You know what I mean? But I can see how a person can become an absent father, I'll use example because she has full custody, or she's the one that's primary care for the baby. Because he's trying, he's getting hit with, you know, even from her sister, played by Keke Palmer. I love her at the show. And he's getting that pushback from her and her family. And some men would just walk away from that, but he's not trying to do that. What are your thoughts?
I low-key think that they're going to get married.
Mm-hmm.
I low-key think that. I'm sorry. It's just something about, and the reason that I say that is something about the character of Lawrence, his personality, and you can see in this episode he fell in love with his son.
Yeah.
And he's honoring that because it's not something that he felt before. He's really excited.
Yeah, once he held him.
Although he's very exhausted, he also has his dream job, and he's not really going to try to change too much. But I think that in order for that thing to work the way that they both want it to work, they're going to have to be together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how they make it work.
And let's face it. I mean, let's call it on the beam. A lot of marriages are together because of the children.
Kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. But yes, I'll be curious to see. And it's interesting because this episode was dedicated to just that relationship. They didn't show.
Yes. Yeah. And but you also see how Issa dodged a really big bullet.
Yes.
She dodged a really big bullet.
Because I was surprised when he picked her up from the airport, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? But when she told him it wasn't a good idea, for him to come inside. But yeah, it was very interesting. I love that show, and I watched, when I was watching the first episode, and remember they were giving that one character all his backlash short, AKA colors.
Yes.
I was thinking that was just so foolish. Like the show was just so good. I mean, it represents everything Black and the culture, just things that we can identify with. You know what I mean? And for them to find that one thing and make it an issue, it was crazy. It was crazy.
I don't know. I caught up on the morning show too. That last episode was a mess.
Yes. Yes. I was out of town this weekend, but I saw it yesterday, and that show does not disappoint. It does not disappoint. All right, I have to talk about. Did you already talk about The Harder They Fall?
I did, but go on, please do.
So I'm not a big Western person. My dad used to watch Western when I was a kid, and I'm like, okay. But it's Black, so I had to support him. And it's a great cast. But that movie was so good. Like I was like on Instagram, I was watching. I had to put the phone down and pay attention. It was so good. And when I was looking up, I was trying to get an image so I could post it on social media, supporting the movie. Mm-hmm. And I saw an article, and it said that they gave Chadwick Boseman a shout out on the train that went by and said Boseman whatever, and that was their way of tributing him. But it was just so good. It was well written. It was action packed. It was, the music was good. Acting was great, and the storyline was really good. Like I was really surprised by the ending, how it ended. Mm-hmm. And so I'll tell my friend, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this. And so he had started watching it. He forgot we were on the phone. I was like, yeah, I'm right back. I mean, it was so good. It was so, and it started off the jump. Like the first scene was like, what? That's how you're gonna start this movie? It was really great. So I recommend everybody watch it. And I've been seeing a lot of praise from people on Leslie Jones. She actually made a video today just saying this is a must watch. It is a great film. And you don't have to be Black just to watch this. This is really great. And I love the first scene that it said, or one of the scenes that said, this did exist, meaning there were Black cowboys and cowgirls out there doing these things. And so, shout out to them. Shout out to them.
So I've come in a habit of trusting certain artists in their choices and their picks, just simply because I love them so much. And Regina King is that type of artist for me. Anything that she will say yes to, I'm automatically going to watch it because she saw something in it that she wanted to do.
And she embodied that character.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil so much, but
Right.
yeah.
Really good. So everyone check that out for sure. You got to.
And what was shocking to me, because I'm a little older than you, so not that I was into westerns, but I was probably around more people that were actively watching westerns with me in the room.
Yeah.
So I did kind of grow up on it. I was shocked and surprised on some of the old little gimmicks that they were using, like in Western movies, how they put them in the movie. I was like, oh wow, okay, now I feel like I'm a kid again. That was
And an
pretty good.
all-star cast. The all-star, I mean, I don't know who they casted on this movie. It was a great cast.
Yeah.
Great cast. Yeah.
It was good.
Anything coming out of the pipeline?
Nothing that I can think of offhand. I'm just taking it as it comes. I do want to get into the new Dexter.
Yeah.
To see what he's killing now. What he's
right, yeah.
He has a son, right? Didn't he have a son?
I didn't
realize. He had a kid before the season ended.
I remember he
had a kid.
Serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see what's going on with him. I want to check him out. And there's another series that's starting, and I forget the name of it. It's coming on Showtime, and it's about these group of women that are collectively together because they were in some kind of airplane crash together, and they had to survive in the wilderness. But they're telling it from the past, and some shady stuff went down, and now somebody's trying to kill them.
Oh wow!
So I'm kind of interested in that. I forget the name of it. I'll remember. I'll get it. Yeah.
I forgot to mention another series I watched last week, Colin in Black and White. It's based on the early years of Colin Kaepernick.
Okay. I heard that was good.
That was really good. I watched that in one day, 6 episodes. It talks about, he was adopted by a white family, and apparently they already had a child, or maybe they had two, but they wanted a third. And they couldn't conceive. The doctors told them it wasn't safe for the mom, and so they went to adopt the child. And they get to the agency, and they said the baby's no longer available, but we had this other child, and it was Colin. And he says, from the beginning, I was always second choice from the beginning of his life, and it just showed how his parents loved him. They would do anything for him. They really helped him in terms of getting his football career, because he was really good in baseball and everyone wanted to sign him, or for him to go to school or to go straight to the league playing baseball, but his heart was with football and he really wanted to be a quarterback. And it just showed him, and growing up in the environment he grew up in, not only with his family but also his school and peers, how being one of the only Black men or boys at that school, how there were so many things that his parents even missed. Like, for example, he was getting on the elevator, and because they were at some tournament, he's on the elevator, and this white gentleman held the door open for his parents. So then he runs in after them as a kid, runs in, and he says, "Are y'all okay?" And you're like, "Yeah." And then and he looks at him and he said, "Yeah, I'm okay too, thanks." And the door closes. His parents says, "You're kind of feisty today," not getting that this man was concerned for you because this black kid got an elevator from you. And just how he would go to tournaments, and the staff would always just stare at him, making sure he wasn't stealing, or like there was one point where they were passing out ice cream to the players, So kids are going back, getting seconds and thirds. And he went up there and they said, "You already have one." He's like, "Well, everyone already had one." "Well, you already had one." And so he went to one of his friends and he told him, he was like, "Well, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get one." He said, "No, you don't have to worry about it." He said, "No, I'm gonna be a second." But it was just and the boy walked right up to her. She gave it to him. It just showed the difference in the things he had to endure. And that's why I was watching an interview with Ava DuVernay, and she was saying, at first, when he came to her about doing this series, she was thinking it'd be about his older years, when he impacted everything. But listening to his story, she saw why important this story needed to be told. But it was really good. Really, really good. Really good. But yeah, well, that's it for me. Anything else for you?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, listen, we'll be right back after this.